Hi, welcome to a very special edition of Enterprise Unplugged, where we are celebrating International Women's Day, and I am joined by some of my fabulous colleagues within Enterprise. I'm Chloe Nelson. I work in the commercial division within Enterprise and the service solutions team based in the UK.
I'm Steffi Wolf, based in the German office, working as sales operations manager and looking after all our European divisions.
I'm Kelsey Fryer, based in the UK. I'm sales support and operations manager here.
I'm Megan Sharp. I'm also based in the UK and I've just graduated the academy as an account manager. So obviously you guys have been here longer than I have, so you have more experience in the industry. So what would you say that your experience has been like personally as a woman in technology?
I'd say mine's been really positive. So I started here when I was about 18, and my first manager, she was a female, so it really kind of kick-started my career in a really positive way. What about you, Steffi?
So when I started 10 years ago, my manager wasn't a female manager, but I had a lot of females around me in sales that have been great role models for me to make my way in the industry. What do you experience, Chloe?
I think to echo both you, Steffi, and Kelsey, really positive, Megan, actually. Really positive experience with working in tech and within Enterprise. My journey's been similar to Kelsey's, where when I first come into the industry, I had a female manager. So I think that kind of really helped make me feel at ease, I think, in a way, because I think I was 19 when I first joined the business. And I think coming into the business so young and probably having perceptions of it being obviously male-dominated was a little bit daunting, but actually there was nothing to be worried about.
Yeah, I know what you mean. When I first started, I was a bit like, you come into the office and there are a lot of men in the office and you're like, oh my gosh. But then when you sort of settle in, you notice you do also have a lot of women around you that sort of helps you feel more settled. And like you can sort of go to people if it's something that you're sort of like, oh, was it like for a woman in that scenario? So yeah, I totally get that. Obviously you said you've all had quite positive experiences, but have you ever sort of felt like you've had to prove yourself more compared to any of your male colleagues?
I think, I don't know about you both, but definitely more so in kind of meetings, I think. I've found there's been a few occasions where occasionally they kind of, I don't want to say overpower, but I kind of felt like my voice was lost a little bit. But I'd probably say within the last 3 to 4 years, I think definitely some of the more senior members of our company have kind of been more, like they think things through more, and they kind of look at me and say, what do you think? And they're really kind of sensitive to the fact that they might have a room full of such big personalities, because you know what all of our male sales, some of them have such big personalities. And sometimes they forget that maybe people, not even just females, I'd say there's a lot of kind of males who don't have the same kind of confidence, who they might have points missed. So, yeah,
you get a real mix of characters, don't you? I think within any business, that is. So, yeah, I think, I don't know. I wouldn't say I felt like I've been in a situation where I need to prove myself more. Maybe to echo a little bit of what Kel said, where you're in those meetings and you feel like you're ready to get involved and you want your voice heard. And I think a bit of that comes with confidence and experience as well. And it does take a while to build that up. Like, I've been in the industry over 10 years now, and I'm still building on that confidence. I don't know about you ladies,
massively.
but I just feel like every day is absolutely a new learning curve. So, you know, it kind of, builds your confidence, kind of makes you more resilient. But in terms of, proving myself more than my male colleagues, no, not really. I think it is about ensuring that your voice is heard and that you've had your say, definitely. So I feel like that's a piece I've definitely been working on over my career within tech.
Yeah, I would agree to that. And what I can add is, so one of my colleagues, she had the situation where she had to prove herself. So she went into a meeting with a customer and vendor, and so it was a room full of men, and she was the only woman, and they were talking about technical issues, and everybody was giving suggestions what to do, but nothing worked out. So in the end, everybody went quiet. She stood up and was like, what about that? And we did this, and there was a solution. So she was proving that as a woman in tech, you could have a good knowledge and you could be the one to be listened to.
That's amazing, to be fair, and brave, because I mean, I always say I'm not really that technical, but what a brave thing to do, to stand up and go, actually, here's your resolution to the problem.
And imagine what the man would look like being impressed about, oh, a woman does know something. No one was expecting that. Hey.
Yeah, obviously from that you've obviously spoken about how you've been here for quite a while, so it's sort of been quite a good experience overall, but have you sort of seen any changes from sort of when you started to now that sort of there's more inclusivity?
I think definitely the ERGs have helped raise awareness within our males within Enterprise, and not kind of, I have noticed like huge differences, but just small things are kind of coming up. Like for example, my manager, he would look at me and say, what do you think? They kind of give you more of a voice, whereas I think previously they weren't so aware that this was happening to a lot of women in the industry.
Yeah.
And especially with the ERGs, so everyone can be part of the ERGs, so you can make your own voice heard and you can be part of changing something or show something that you think should change.
Absolutely. And I think there's definitely been progress within the industry. There's still quite a bit more to do, I would say. I think stats are it's around 26% of women make up the tech industry, so it's still really low percentage actually. So there is still quite a bit of work to be done, and I think within the UK as well, we've got quite a bit of catching up to do within that industry. But I do know Exertus have held they're called Empower Her events, and they have been absolutely fantastic in raising awareness and sort of just educating people as well and really opening people's eyes. I've had the privilege to be able to attend two of their past events, and they've been absolutely fantastic in raising awareness and also making our male colleagues allies as well, to helping empower women within the industry, and also helping women empower each other, because I think that's really important as well. If I look back on my career, I think I don't really know where I would be if I didn't have a network of empowered women around me. And I also think it helps that I do think within Enterprise, our leadership are very forward thinking as well. Like they are very much
massively
empowering women, making sure our voices are heard and wanting us to excel within our careers as well. So I think that's great, and that has definitely helped make it feel a lot more like inclusive for women in tech.
Yeah, definitely. I noticed when I sort of first came in, when Johnny was my manager, immediately when we came in, he was really, obviously he was helping all of us, but he was really rooting for the women to make it, because he wants to make it more inclusive and sort of help those percentages a bit. So yeah, I was also wondering, what do you find people get wrong about working in the industry? Like ideas that they have that aren't necessarily true?
I think they would just think, women are not made to be in a tech industry because they don't have the knowledge, they don't understand technology. But that's just not correct, because why is a woman not able to understand technology? It's just a way of learning and understanding. You could also say a man is not made to be in education, because that is more female. So there's no way to say women should not be in tech. I think more women should be in tech. It's just they are afraid because it's such a dominant male industry. And maybe they're afraid of, oh, how should I do all the learning? How should I manage work life and family? Yeah,
definitely. I definitely hear what you're saying on that, Steffi. I think sort of, especially say if you're a woman with like a young family as well, there's probably a little bit more running through your mind in terms of where your career fits around your family life. And don't get me wrong, that can be the same for our male colleagues as well. I do think maybe it's people's perception sometimes of the industry as well. Like 19-year-old Chloe, who was joining the tech industry, was very, like I said, found it very daunting, very like, oh, this is a very male-dominated industry. But actually, I do think that is changing. Like, we are on the right tracks to changing that. And I definitely think within Enterprise, they're showing that as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So I think it's quite nice to be part of a company where we can come away and help empower females that want to get into the tech industry and say, actually, you know, okay, there is still quite a bit of work to be done because, yes, it is still male dominated, but actually there are plenty of empowered women within the industry that actually want to, you know, draw more women into it and say, you know, you can come into this space, you know, have your voice heard, you know, feel included and contribute, you know, massively to the industry.
Is it kind of, when you started, is it different to how you imagined it to be in the office environment, or is it?
I'm not really too sure, to be honest, because I came into it quite quickly after I finished uni. I didn't really have any sort of preconceived ideas or anything, but I think definitely coming in, like I said before, it's a little bit daunting when you first come in, because you're not really sure what you're doing, and you do sometimes hear stuff where people are like, women don't know about tech, like,
yeah,
they can't know what they're talking about, like,
you're sort of coming in to know what to expect, did you?
Which sometimes I don't know anything about tech, but it doesn't mean I can't learn it, and I can't do well to be successful. But yeah, it's been good so far, I think, definitely.
Oh, that's really lovely to hear.
Yeah.
And maybe also with the European Academy we just hired, so we hired 6 people, and 2 out of these 6 are women. So that is also showing positive that more women want to come into the industry.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, with the academy we had, it was split, so there were 6 of us, so 3 men and 3 women, but 1 of the women left. But still, it shows that they're still trying to get into it, and the company's trying to hire more women.
As the females aren't put off from applying for it. I think that's part of the help initially. It's not a case of they're ever prejudiced against who we're hiring. It's probably women applying for the jobs, not thinking it's their right.
Maybe the right fit for that. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, and what would you say has sort of been the most rewarding part of being a woman in tech?
Oh, that is a good question. I would say for me personally is having a manager and leadership team that are very like hot on girl power, like we need to be empowering women within this industry. And I think for me that's really helped shape my career and really like reaffirmed me that actually, you know, I can be a woman in tech and I can make a great success of my career within the tech industry. So yeah, I think it's just nice to see that, you know, my colleagues around me are like with me and, you know, wanting to have my voice heard and wanting to empower me.
Yeah, I think it would be more or less the same for me. Like when we have meetings, it's, well, I say is really something my colleagues listen to, and the advice I give is something they follow. But it's also on the other side, it's a teamwork. So my manager's a man, and he still is giving good advice on how to do something, how to process something, how to speak to someone. Because I'm still, like Chloe said at the beginning, it's a learning day by day. So yeah, you just need to continue and make sure your voice is heard.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of it is sort of having that around you as well helps. Like, even if you do have a lot of male colleagues, it's having male colleagues that, again, lift you up and they know that it's important to work together and empower each other, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. Okay, so obviously you spoke about what's been rewarding. Is there any experiences you've had where you're like, oh, yeah, this is why I really enjoy this job and why I wanted to be doing this, my career?
I think for me, it was the recognition of kind of going from role to role within the company and kind of having that person reach out to you and saying, I can see what you're doing is a really good job. Would you consider doing this instead? So it's kind of the recognition for me of, like some of my male managers and some of the other male managers within the company. That was really rewarding, thinking, well, actually, the job I'm doing is being noticed and they kind of want to help progress me. So yeah, that was a good point for me.
For me, it was different project I was working on, and in the end, when I finished this project and saw what the impact is and the outcome of these projects, is like really, okay, that gave me a really good feeling and being like, oh, that is why I wanted to be here. I wanted to make the life of the others easier, wanted to make progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end of it, say, Steffi did this, and it was Steffi.
Yeah.
They definitely. I think for me, it's been the progression and development I've had within my role. Kind of to echo what Kel said a little bit, is that I've had a male manager that's actually seen my abilities and wanting me to progress forward in my career and put me forward for different. I've had the privilege to be on a training management course at the moment, which is coming to an end soon, which I'm really sad about, because it's been a really, really great course. I've learned a lot. I've managed to network with a lot of people as well across the business, even outside of Enterprise. So that's been really fantastic. But I think just having those opportunities, and someone sort of, maybe I haven't always recognised those opportunities, but someone going, actually, Chloe, I think, you'd be a good fit for this. Like, shall we explore this route, you know? And sort of asking me and checking in on me as well with my career and actually where I want it to go. And if maybe I'm sure we've all had it within our careers where you think, I'm heading in this direction, and something, and there's, you know, you just get that moment, you're like, actually, I'm not sure I want to do that anymore. I want to go in this direction. So having someone sort of help guide me along and kind of, I guess, help point me in the right direction to get to where I want to go.
And it's funny to see that we all work in different departments, but all had the same start. So start with a male manager.
Yeah.
Apart from you started with a female manager.
Yeah.
But then turned to a male manager, and we all did our career ladders because our managers pointed us into the right directions and saw the way we should go and where we could make our lives easier and make our careers, make success stories out of our lives.
And you know, not even just to benefit them, because they've pushed us into different departments that means that we're no longer working for that team. So they've kind of selflessly thought, well, you should be in that place. So
yeah, I think definitely having that manager role is important as well to sort of push you and sort of work on your skills and progress. So obviously, thinking back to sort of when you first started, what's some advice that you would give to someone that's sort of starting out as a woman in Enterprise or thinking about it?
I would probably say just know your worth, kind of thing. As cringy as that sounds, like
No,
how
echo that 100%. Oh yeah,
like,
absolutely.
you've got to have confidence and faith in yourself.
You've got to back yourself, because, you know, if you're not backing yourself, other people might necessarily not. So
Yeah.
my advice would be networking. 100% networking. Like, again, I've heard the phrase, it's like, oh, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Sometimes that is true, and I do think when you're a female coming into the tech industry, it's really important to build a great network around you and have people within that network as well that will champion you even when you're not in the room, and help give you, or, you know, guide you in the directions of where those platforms are, where you can, you know, put yourself on that platform and have your voice heard. So yeah, I do think networking is definitely a brilliant thing to have and do within the industry.
Do you know what? I always say that to my team, just speak to everyone, because it could be that you end up having a conversation with someone who is looking for someone to fulfill a role. And if you're speaking to them and they think, actually, you seem to know a lot about this, straight away you've opened up your horizons massively just from having a conversation. So yeah, networking to anyone and everyone you can speak to.
Yeah. And also believe in yourself. There will be good days, there will be bad days, but be sure there will always be good days in the end. And hopefully you will have a good manager like we had that will see all the good opportunities in you and just put your career forward, make you grow. And in the end, you can have one of these seats here and tell about your experiences in 10 years.
I obviously haven't been here very long, but I think when I first started out, I've seen a massive difference from what I was like 4 months ago. And I think a big part of it is a confidence thing. I think at the beginning I was a bit like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I'm a little bit like unsure of myself. So then I think moving forward, building my confidence and everything helped me so much. So I think that was quite a big thing that I found quite helpful, is having those people around me and them giving me pointers and everything so that I can work on myself and be more confident in my job.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the kind of advice I would give as well, like what you guys said, sort of being confident, and obviously the networking is important as well. Yeah. Okay. So obviously we spoke before about sort of how the inclusivity has changed and everything, But is there anything that you think businesses could do more of to sort of be a bit more inclusive?
I definitely think as I said earlier, the ERGs, I think a lot more companies, if they were to kind of make their men in the industry more aware of some situations that females have been in, or how any of their female colleagues feel, I think just awareness, really.
Yeah, it's that education piece, isn't it? I think, definitely.
I think what we're doing here now with podcasts is also something that, as a business, Exist Enterprise does. So it's, giving us the opportunity to speak about our experiences, and hopefully with that, we find more women out there that want to join enterprise business. They're more than welcome to join Enterprise.
Absolutely. Go power, woohoo. And I do think as well, businesses could maybe kind of look at their recruitment strategies. I don't even know if that's a thing, a recruitment strategy. I'm sure it is, or maybe I've just made it up, who knows. But that's kind of where it starts, right? You want to make it appealing and inclusive to females to come into the tech industry. So that's definitely a good place to sort of start and go, right, how can we, our, job ads, etc.
Yeah.
How can we be drawing in applications from females?
Yeah, definitely. The last question is quite similar to the one we had before. But if you could sort of speak to your younger self when you were first starting out, what would you say to yourself?
Oh, that's a good one.
Just continue, even if there will be some things that go wrong. There will be some things that frustrate you. You might come to a situation where you think like, oh, I will quit. Tech is not for me. Enterprise is not for me. Don't think that. It's just a way of learning. Try to find some of your colleagues. They could give you advice. They could explain things to you that you might struggle with to understand. So just continue. Stick to your path. It will pay out in the end.
That's really good advice.
That is. No, absolutely.
And I'd also say, don't kind of see tech as this, you must know everything to do with technology. I'm definitely the most techie person. I've been here, oh gosh, almost 10 years as well now.
Wow.
And I don't know much. It's just about finding, I guess, your right area. Like there's so many different kinds and different, what's the word I'm looking for? Different departments, thank you, and within tech that you don't need to know. You've got our credit control, return. You've got all these things that doesn't mean need. Oh my gosh, which doesn't mean that you need to know everything about the latest technology. It just means that you're a different part of the huge cog that is enterprise.
Absolutely. Younger self advice. I think it would be. You're more resilient than you think, and try not to pass up opportunities where you get the opportunities for progression and development. Take them and run. And run with this. I'm joking, but that definitely helps you build that resilience, that confidence, and expands obviously on your skills, your knowledge. And never know what may come your way in the future.
Yeah, that's definitely great advice. Obviously, where I only just started, I'm definitely probably going to take all of that on for myself and, work on all those different things. So, yeah.
Thank you very much for tuning in to this special edition of Enterprise Unplugged. Stay tuned for more episodes and more content on women in enterprise.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.